71.3 grams.
Hey everybody, this is Sully, part 2 of the Tyro69, and I don't have very much to go with because it really is just a plug and play, so I'm going to show a few tips that helped me out. First off, when you go to solder up your ESC, with these plastic wires on the motors, I find it much easier to lay the wires straight across the ESC and solder that way, so you're not trying to twist and hold them in place while applying heat. So you lay them straight across, and that'll allow you to wrap around the stack later and much easier. Since they're plastic cables, they're very susceptible to heat and overheating. Once you get them soldered together, you can then wrap around and put your motors on and screw them down. It's a lot easier to do it this way than it is to try using tweezers to hold it in place, because tweezers will actually rip the plastic off once it heats up. This is a tip that a lot of people know, but they don't really know they know. Once you plug in your receiver, you have to bridge the S-bus and center pin, or the PPM and center pin. That's if you're doing the receiver and you want to use I-bus, you have to bridge the right two pins, so PPM and that center. One thing most people don't know is that cell phones have really good zooms now, and you can tell if you've bridged the right pins together. So it's really cool. Just use a cell phone and zoom right in to make sure you don't have any shorts. And once you get everything screwed together, just remember it's all one way. The camera goes in the mount with the wires going to the bottom, and they go out the bottom. The VTX as well, everything feeds through the bottom of the canopy, so that you have the button in that right hole in the bottom, and then your camera plugs into this port, and your VTX 2 wire to the port on the right hand side of the quad. It's stage left here, but it just plugs right in. And once you get it that way, your wires will be tucked out of the way, and you have just enough room so that you don't have any problems. For mine, I noticed capacitor I had to push up a little bit, and the receiver I just used Velcro on the side, and I need to add some strength to the VTX antenna because it's a little exposed, but for a 50-gram quad you're not going to do much damage as long as you're flying in grass and whatnot. Just jumping over here to the flight video because this is what everyone came to see anyway. I will say I flew at night, so don't expect to see bright, shiny pictures, but this camera, the Beetle V2, is very good at night. I mean, I'm flying by street light and not having any problem seeing anything. First off with the quad, it's insanely responsive. I was impressed, very, very impressed, because it flies like any other quad that's much bigger. Breeze didn't push it around, it had no bobbles, had no shakes, and very little prop wash, even though it came with Betaflight 355. That was, it's a stock Betaflight, so I did no tuning. I didn't even look at the PIDs, quite honestly, but it's very locked in. I did set, what do you call it, the iTerm Relax. I turned that on because I always turn it on, and throttle boost at 5, and that's about it. It flies amazingly well right out, just right out like that. One thing with it, since I was using I-bus and I bridged the two pads on the right that I showed earlier in the video, I was using UART2, not UART1. So whenever you plug in the flight controller, UART1 is already set for serial, and you actually want to probably change that to UART2 if you have any troubles. As always, I'm going to say this now, if you like any of my content, please subscribe, ask questions. I love doing videos, I love helping people out, so if you ever buy something or you ever need help, I do live streams, or just DM me, or just leave a comment on a video. I love answering questions. Right or wrong, we all learn something, and we're all new at this, I think. Even people who've been doing it for 10 years still new at it, because there's always something new. But overall, for $69, I couldn't be happier with this quad. It's really good. It flies well. It flies just like any other larger quad. And those motors, the 1104 8600 kV, were really easy on the batteries. So I got an easy 4 minutes out of this flight, doing my normal stuff that I would. On a liter 120, I could probably eke out 3.5, maybe 4, but I'd be pushing the voltage a lot lower than I did here. And honestly, I'm having just as much fun. So this might be replacing my liter for my easy flight. Or I might be using my cheaper batteries on it because I have some smaller capacity ones. Right now I'm using the G&B 450s, those stick batteries. I love them. They're great. They're always great. They give you lots of power. But I am doing a JST to XT30 connector, so I'm not getting all the power I should be if you were just using a straight XT30. And I'm using 2S, not 3S, so you can actually go faster in this thing. And the motors would easily handle it. I have perfect faith in them because they came down absolutely cold, and the battery came down cold. So nothing about this quad stresses any of the components from what I can tell. And the camera, again, it's really good. The lines you see are actually from my DVR. So one thing that impressed me is whenever I looked in the goggles, I had no lines and perfectly cleared video, just grainy because it's dark. But it was perfectly clear and no lines, no nothing. So throttle punches didn't change anything. And yeah, I got good range on it. Any of the breakup you see is due to that tree, and my actual bad receiver in my goggles is not the best. But other than that, it's a great quad for $69. I have no qualms recommending it if you want a beater quad or a little toothpick just to play around with. You won't break the bank. And other than that, I'm going to wrap it up here. Like I say, though, if you like this, like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask. I love it. There'll be links down below. Coupons still going on. Banggood's still doing their 13th anniversary sale. And I'm not being a shill for it, but I do like this one. So I'll be doing a long-term update after I beat the crap out of it. Let's be honest. That's why actually why I got it. It's because I wanted something I could just beat up, and something small that wouldn't damage anything at all. And yeah, I think I found it. So that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Look down below for those coupons. Thanks again. And we will talk to you later.